Guadalajara, Mexico. It's Saturday morning, and I'm at a lovely cafe that is near the hostel where I'm staying this month. And I wanted to come on. I am in a course that prevents me from going live on Wednesday nights, at least for the next 3 more weeks. I want to just introduce myself before I talk about my update for this week. My name is Dr. Crystal Harris. I have been on sabbatical for 1 year this week. Monday, June 30th was the 1 year anniversary of my retirement. And this channel is for those who are looking for a change, a career reinvention, a sabbatical perhaps, or a career break would be helpful to help you navigate what is the next phase in your professional life and personal life intertwined. And so on this channel, I have been basically cataloging my experiences and inviting my community to follow along with me as I travel across the world. A year ago, Monday, July 7th, I flew to London, England to be a house sitter for 12 weeks. I did 8 house sits in 5 cities, all throughout the United Kingdom, England in particular. And I followed that up with a trip to Spain and to a little bit of time in Montpellier, France. And I came back to the U.S. for the holidays and then set out again to tour Central America. So on my channel, you'll find a lot of information about travel, about planning for travel, particularly as a solo female traveler over 50. This is the juncture after the 1 year mark where I said I would basically start thinking about exploring new career options and deciding what I wanted to move forward with in my career. And it's really been only a week now. The first career shift that I'm thinking about doing still involves teaching. And so I am taking a TEFL certification course. And if you're not familiar with what that is, TEFL is Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And the certification course that I'm taking is sponsored by ITTO, which is the International Teacher Training Organization. And I have a referral link if you're interested in hearing more about that. And I'm sure I will produce some content specifically about the course, the pros and cons, what I wish I knew before I got started. What I will say is it is very intense. In fact, I think it's probably the most time-limited, intense career endeavor of my life. And that includes completing my doctorate at the University of Notre Dame. So, yeah, it's a lot. The work is not hard, but the work is definitely very intense, and there's a lot of it. And it's the type of work where you're constantly being evaluated and then having to shift or modify what you're doing based on that evaluation. So this week coming up is actually going to be a little bit more intense than the first week was, which I'm already kind of thinking to myself, like, why? Just why are we having to do all of this? So thank you so much, those of you who are watching. Please feel free to introduce yourself and say where you're watching from. I don't usually go live like this. I usually go live through a third party. But to be honest, in order to be consistent on YouTube in this season of my life, it's going to be really important for me to just go live. And I expect I'll be going live on Saturday mornings for at least 10 to 15 minutes. This is not necessarily the only cafe I'm going to try, but in my hostel there are a lot of great cafes. I hope to take some short videos and be able to string those together to post just as community posts to kind of show you where I am and what it's like here. But this cafe is actually a lot of fun. I just ate the most amazing ham and cheese panini. It's called Live-In Cafe, and it's on Lopez Catilla. I think that's the street it's on. Let me see if I could show you my coffee. It's a little dark in here, so I also have my light right here. So that's what I'm looking at. So the coffee is really good. I got an Americano, which is espresso with hot water, but I also have them take out a little water and add a little hot milk. And I had this amazing panini with jamon y queso, and it also had beautiful fresh lettuce and cucumbers and shredded carrots I will say that Mexico really knows how to do fresh food. On my way here this morning, there were like 3 or 4 places that were opening up that were having all other kinds of fresh pastries and sandwiches and all the things that you would want to sell on a Saturday to the crowd walking by. The street that I'm on is the street that's heading toward a busy, bustling major intersection where there is a train line. They have an underground train line here in Guadalajara, which apparently is somewhat new and still developing. They're putting new lines in everywhere. So that's another plus for people moving to Guadalajara. Guadalajara is a really large city. I think there are, according to their last census, 3 million people here, but I've heard people say as many as 5 or 6 million people. Looking at the metro area, that includes Zapopan and Guadalajara, which is another small city which is very close. So I'm very much enjoying the busy, active city life, just hearing music and crazy announcements. Of course, that also means police car sirens and ambulance sirens. I love people watching. Last night, my son David, who's here with me, and I went to P.F. Chang's. We were craving some Asian food, and honestly have not felt super courageous when it comes to trying the various Chinese buffets that are all over Guadalajara. I'm sure we will eventually, but I'm really too busy to get food poisoning. And I am, as much as I am trying to be a citizen of the world, I will be honest, I'm still timid when it comes to, certain, I guess, negative perceptions we have being raised in the U.S. about, food that's open to the air, open to the public, people walking around it. That's just not, it's very affordable. It looks delicious. You see a lot of people eating it. So, but anyway, so far so I've been in Guadalajara actually a total of 3 weeks. Last week I also went live from Guadalajara from my Airbnb. And, but this is the first week I've been in the intensive TEFL certification course. And what I will say is that I did finish the Spanish course. I passed it. I made it through to the end. I believe when I went live last week, it was a Wednesday or Thursday night, so I hadn't completed the course. But I would say if I had it to take over again, I would definitely do a week intensive of Spanish, and I may do another one. But I believe I should have been in the advanced beginner class because a lot of what we were learning around tenses, the more complicated tenses and phrases, I was really not ready to need to know. I'm still trying to figure out how to do a better, more fluent job of having an experience in a restaurant, a hotel check-in, passport control. I'm definitely adequate or competent. I would say people understand me when I'm negotiating those transactions. However, I'm definitely not feeling like I've nailed all of that. Like there are times I'd love to be able to say something else and I don't have the ability to command the vocabulary at the time. So that being said, that is a great backdrop and foundation for my experience as I'm getting certified to teach English in Mexico. I feel really strongly that I'm a great teacher and I have something to offer the students and the people who are English learners here in Mexico and in other Spanish-speaking countries. But I will also say that a big part of it is just having the courage, and I've said this before on this channel, to just try again and again and again, and to have the courage and the humility to just be willing to be corrected and to be open to correction so that you can learn and so that you can grow. So I have a ton of homework today. On Monday, I'm actually doing 2 presentations, one at 8 a.m., one at 10 a.m., and I have an essay that's due at 9 a.m. So that's not normally how intense it is, but that's how my week ended, that I got assigned extra things to do at the last minute. So I see the music has gone up in the volume, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because, it's a bit too loud. But I did want to hop on and bring you along with me and say that 1 week down and 3 to go. It's a 4-week, intense program that includes 40 hours of practicum teaching and also a lot of teaching observations and projects. So TEFL certification is not to be played with. I'm so glad I'm doing it in person and not online. However, I think if this is something that you are interested in learning more about, feel free to put it in the comments and let me know. I haven't really done any sightseeing. I've seen some beautiful things that I'm kind of making a list that I want to go back and learn more about as I'm down in the midst of everything. But I'm in the midst of everything, just basically riding by in an Uber, going to class or coming back from class. Even last night, we were at Midtown Mall, which is where the PF Chang's is. I saw all these really cute high-end, cool high-end stores and cute shops where I really wish that I had time to go in and, shop for accessory or something. But the energy level on a Friday night after such an intense week was just not there, so I'll have to do that another time. But we did do some grocery shopping, and we'll definitely do more in the future. Thank you all for popping by and keeping me company. Please be sure to hit the like button, even if you watch this moving forward in the future. I would love to share more about what you're interested in. I actually put in my community post a poll this week that's basically what kind of content about my travel in Mexico you'd like to see. The one thing I will say about what's coming up next is I will be going to Puerto Vallarta at the end of this course, which will be end of July, early August. And then I'm not exactly sure how long I'm going to stay in Puerto Vallarta at the moment, but I also plan on moving forward into spending some time in Mexico City. Actually, after Puerto Vallarta, I'm going to come back to Guadalajara for a couple of weeks and then go on to Mexico City. And at this point, I won't be back in the United States until mid-September. So things are going well. It's rainy season. The mosquitoes are fierce, super fierce here. And so we're buying mosquito repellent in bulk and alcohol to pat down our places where we'll be getting eaten alive. And I am, just making the best of what is a really busy time in my life and career. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.